Hello there. Brexit promised lucrative trade deals and new freedoms. But even less than 3 years after leaving the EU, many companies are fighting against barriers, or have even given up. The proportion of UK's smaller companies exporting abroad has fallen following Brexit. 1 in 8 exporters has stopped selling to the EU temporarily or permanently, and another tenth are considering doing so, says Lucy Monks of the Federation of Small Businesses, which represents small businesses and the other self-employed. Around a fifth of these companies are currently still exporting their goods or services abroad, according to the association, and according to them, this is the lowest level since the beginning of the pandemic, when restrictions caused trade to collapse overall. But the restrictions are long gone. Great Britain left the European Union at the end of January 2020 and has also not been a member of the EU Customs Union and Internal Market since January 2021. The Brexit trade agreement agreed at the last moment ensures freedom from tariffs in most areas. Nevertheless, there are difficulties in trading due to increased bureaucratic requirements. Small companies want to trade and expand into new markets, but they still face hurdles, said Monk, International Relations Officer at the Industry Association. These included, for example, higher delivery costs and more papers to be filled out. The association hopes for future simplifications through the planned digitization of trade checks. Monks warned that the British government must also take into account the challenges and needs of smaller companies when negotiating further trade agreements. On the second anniversary of Brexit, a member of the Scottish regional government has criticised the British exit from the EU. The damage caused by Brexit continues to increase, said Angus Robertson, who is responsible for foreign affairs in the cabinet, among other things. In the 2 years since the end of the transition period, we have seen no benefit in leaving the European Union. Rather, the British economy is fundamentally on the wrong track, and there is no real alternative. Great Britain had already left the EU at the end of January 2020, as I said. However, there was still a transition phase until the end of the year, and since 2021, Great Britain has then no longer been a member of the EU Customs Union and the single market. Like First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, Robertson is a member of the Scottish National Party, the SNP, which is striving for independence from Great Britain and a return to the EU. He announced that the regional government is still aiming for a new independence referendum. The Supreme Court in London ruled a few weeks ago that the approval of the British government, which clearly rejects a referendum, is required though. The Scottish Government is committed to giving the people of Scotland a choice about the future they want. A greener, more prosperous and fairer economy within the European Union, or a sluggish, stagnant economy outside the European Union, said Robertson. Businesses would suffer from lower exports to the EU, as well as skill shortages and recruitment difficulties. Robertson referred to a study by the London School of Economics. According to this, British households will have to pay £210 more a year for food bills due to customs hurdles after Brexit. According to calculations by the British Supervisory Authority OBR, long-term productivity will fall by 4%. British government circles, on the other hand, said the EU was still an important trading partner, but I gave you the German example once or twice. The Scottish government should focus on helping companies in the country take advantage of the opportunities created by Brexit rather than stoking fear. Whenever I hear this from the British government, I am not surprised that they had to make videos about certain white powder in government houses. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.